Yeah, I don't even have a title for this, but I'm just going to start live streaming. It's going to start live streaming pretty much as possible so I can get my message across, which is really a message of what you really are as a divine being, and also what you are and what you think you are. But who am I to say what you are? I can't tell you who you are. I can't tell you how to think. I can't tell you how to act. But if you understand what's going on in its reality on a different level, or you open your mind, or you change your perspective, or if you change the systems of thoughts that you have going through your mind, you'll really understand exactly how to tap into what I call the divine intelligence, and getting into that area where you're opening up your third eye. A lot of people don't even know what their third eye is. You may not know what your third eye is, but it is the part right here, the pineal gland area, where when you close your eyes, you can actually veil into the astral plane and also see through other people's emotions and other people's pretty much other people's bullshit that they have going on. And I say that because there's a lot of stuff that's going on with people that don't even have a clue about what's going on in this reality. And how do I know? The reason why I know that, when I hit rock bottom, when I was homeless, and when I knew exactly that, why do these things keep happening to me? Like, why do I keep becoming broke? Why do I keep being homeless? Why do I keep, having these same type of thoughts that I can't control? Why do I keep having these same girlfriends that are just totally just having these issues? Because I was reflecting these same issues off myself. Again, and a lot of people like to call this type of universal law of attraction. We reflect who we are, we mirror our current reality. In a sense, we do mirror our current reality, but this is way far past law of attraction. This is working on a totally more far advanced, expansive level of law of attraction. Because law of attraction, I still believe in law of attraction, but there's people or things that you can do to manifest these universal so-called laws that we have. Because again, if you're a divine God, you can actually do whatever you want to do at your desires, your will's desire. And so one thing I want to talk about is the thoughts that you have and what your beliefs are. Your beliefs are always going to dictate what your thoughts are, and it's going to attract things in your reality. And if you're somebody that's going around that cannot control what's going on with their thoughts, it's going to be hard for you to actually get what you want in this reality. Because you don't have a definite plan. You just keep going day to day, trying to figure out this, trying to figure out that, without coming to some type of complete understanding about what's going on with your reality. And once you understand what's going on with your reality, then there's another level of awakening that starts to happen within your mind, that you need to control these thoughts and these emotions, that you start to grasp the concept and self-actualization of who you are. And once you start getting to this self-actualization and really of who you are, then you start to actually plan, and you start to have goals that you want to achieve, and you start to embed those in your subconscious mind. And then you start to understand other things. And so the self-actualization part is part of people's awakening that they have about controlling their thoughts or emotions, and understanding how to attract things with their mind and their desires within themselves. Because you are an electromagnetic field that actually does these things. And as a divine person or divine being, you need to understand that whatever you do, whatever you think, will always attract what you're feeling into your reality, because you are the person that creates reality based on what you think and your thoughts. But when you have outside influences influencing your desires and your beliefs that, are actually influencing you, then it's kind of breaking up an essence of your personal power of who you are, your frequency of how you're attracting the things that you want in your life. But again, if you don't know exactly what you want in your life, then you're always going to remain in a state of what I like to call confusion energy, which is pretty much actually has a lot to do with these outside influences and how people are perceiving this reality as all there is. Like this is it. Like there's nothing else after this. Go to school, go to college, and then get married, have a good kid, have some kids, have a wife, go to bed, and that's it. That's it, right? And so we got to get our minds on what's going on with our energy, our field of consciousness. And I know there's people out there that's just tired of hearing people talking about consciousness and New Age spirituality, but that is the war that we're facing right now. That's the reason why you can't even figure out exactly what you want to do, or why you're so confused about what you need to do. That's the reason why you procrastinate. That's the reason why you're overwhelmed. And the people that understand this way of how to communicate, they're using that to your own weakness of your personal self, of how you're trying to actually being the one that's in control of your life and the things that you have going on and the things that you want to manifest as into their physical equivalent. But again, people are still just going through life like this is it and this is that and this is that. But once you start to change that, like this is not all there is, and start asking questions about who you really are, and start asking questions about how to be somebody that's really open their mind, is not going to let certain things dictate your life, anything for that matter. And I'm not talking about coming from a place of arrogance. I'm talking about coming from a place of personal empowerment, personal development, and a place of understanding that instead of just being human, that you have something called a soul that has a divine presence to it, like in a God sense, right? Not the God that you're talking about in church. I'm just tired of people talking about church and the Lord and stuff that, you're just draining your energy away from yourself, from your own godhood, because really that's what you are. Even if you don't believe me or not, for the people that go to church, I'm sorry, but that's really what you are. The God is within you. And so once you start thinking that, wait a minute, so the God is within me, so what does that really mean? What does that really mean to me or to you? That's probably what you'd be thinking. And so then your beliefs start to really change. Your belief system really starts to change. And a lot of people will be like, this ain't no God, he's crazy. Again, that type of stuff, that type of talk right there is certain, again, that's still religious structural thinking that keeps your mind trapped in this little box where you're stuck here on this reality, where you don't see yourself as a multidimensional being that exists on different planes of existence, on a conscious and a different frequency of every level of this whole universe, and universes beyond there. And so you are the creator of your life. You are the creator of everything. And so why is it that you can't get to a point where you can control your own emotions and your own thoughts and have the things that you want in your life? It's because the knowledge that you're tapping into in this reality is what I like to call knowledge that's not going to get you any power. It's not going to get you to the point where you want to be at. I see all this information about make money online, all this money of things about do this spiritually and law of attraction and all this other stuff. Like the answers that you have are within inside yourself, but it's inside yourself in a way where you can't really see it at that point, and to actually start to deprogram what's going on with your beliefs. So how does one person deprogram? First off, it starts with controlling the thoughts that you're having and trying to figure out what these things that you believe in really are really serving you in any way. And if they're not really serving you and you feel like they're serving you, you need to figure out how these things are attracting things into your life. And once you do that, you'll probably figure out that you probably end up, I would say more you meditate, because really when you meditate, this is how you find out a lot of information about yourself and the things that you believe in. And pretty much a lot of things that you believe in, if you start to rearrange that into something else, that, wait a minute, so this is that, I believed in this my whole time. So this is your brain, and this is your beliefs, right, in this box. And you keep your brain and your beliefs right here, right? And you start to meditate on how, if I just wipe that completely out the way, right? And start to adopt where, hey, I am a God. I am a divine being that has different abilities, psychic abilities. There's different beliefs that this reality is a holographic reality where it doesn't really serve me, and there's something here on the level that's keeping me where I'm at. Once you start getting to that type of paradigm for your mind, then all these beliefs, once you get these beliefs out the way, and once you start clipping these beliefs away, then your mind starts to expand. But some of the people you might hang around with, they might have that same paradigm that you always had. And so, again, you start to talk to people in that certain type of perspective, but deep down you know that that's what's going on. And that's what happens when you start to change your perspective on life altogether, of understanding you're a divine being. And again, we're not talking about church. So I'm sorry, but we're not talking about church. We're not talking about Jesus. We're not talking about God. We're not talking about none of that. I'm sorry, but we're not talking about that. I just tend to run into people just always so stuck on the worship. Now, what's happening when you're worshiping somebody? Let's talk about that. What's happening when you're worshiping something, right? That's what you're doing is you're feeding your energy into that, because you, as being a divine being, you're feeding, or you're pretty much pushing your energy, you're projecting your energy out into certain deities or certain other types of thought forms, right? Now, kind of getting the call on you, but that's exactly what's happening. And that's pretty much what's happening when you're going to a church or you're going to any type of form of ritual type practice. Right? And so, but again, sometimes you're always feeding your energy into something. But when you go into religion somewhere and you're giving something more power based on your own energy, that's what you're doing. There's no difference between what you do in a church than what people are doing inside of a convent, right? Again, so once you start believing in that, then it's like, oh, okay, so you just start putting more things together about, wait a minute, so this is what I'm really doing. Why is my energy being drained? Why am I feeling tired every day? Why I can't understand why my thoughts are not my own? I just can't control my mind, and all this other stuff is going crazy. Again, that still has a lot to do with the program that we're in right now. And so a lot of people don't have to believe that, but that's really what's going on. Like, there's times where I feel like I'm picking up a lot of interference with certain people, and I have to isolate myself. And I really don't have a problem with really isolating myself. I can keep my thoughts to my own and control my own thoughts and emotions, because we're all connected. And usually when you know somebody is going through a rough day or something like that, you're going to pick up on that. If you're somebody that has a good energy about you and you're able to control your thoughts, like for me, I always talk to people about their issues. I can definitely pierce into what's going on because my third eye is open. I can see through either the BS that's what's going on, the bullshit that's going on, or I can go and see exactly how to feed them some energy from me, so I can show them show them certain things and ways what they need to do based on their own perception. Because once your third eye is open, you can see other people's perceptions about things very easy. It just are you trying to explain that to them is difficult sometimes, because your mind is pretty much on a different level than theirs is. And I know for people in the spiritual community, they're like, oh, I'm on a higher frequency, that's great. You need to use your higher frequency to help other people, and again, start having compassion for people. There's nothing wrong with having compassion for certain people. I try my best to have compassion for certain people, but I see people that they never want to change. They always want to be the same. And so that's why I move myself as far away as possible for those people that keep doing the same things. Again, because you get stuck in that same program on a subconscious level, and you really got to get your energy out of that. Your energy can't match that vibration. Again, just listen to what I'm saying, because this is some serious stuff about you being a divine being and understanding you're a God yourself, and you don't need to go to church to go worship another God, or any God is that. But that's really hard for people to swallow. But they think it's just like, oh well, he's making some knowledge, and no, this is real stuff. Like, I had to change my mind from that as well, because again, I used to be a 7-day Adventist. Like, it got to the point where, I was so homeless. Like, I was trying to tell, like, God, what am I doing? Like, am I doing something wrong, or is it just that, why can I get to a point in my life where I feel happy and I feel free to be able to do what I want? And I figured out that I'm not going to get it through what the reality tells me what I need to do. I'm not going to get it through what people call God is going to tell me what to do. It's something about what I need to do for myself and understanding myself as much as I can. And I hope if you're looking at this, that's exactly what you need to do as well. It's just like, you really need to understand your history, what spirituality. First off, we would start with what spirituality is, and understand how to control your emotions and your thoughts, and start opening your mind to a different set of beliefs on life. And first start with understanding that you're a divine being, and understanding that you are sent here. You're not sent here, but you're created, or you were manifested here to be a creator, a God. And you being in human form, you're on the universe's radar. Every being wants to be like you. Every being wants your energy. They want your aura. They want your abilities. They may want your brain. They may want your soul, right? They may want other things that they need from you, but it's all based on getting the energy and the creativity from you, the intelligence from you. And so if you're somebody that's just really having a really hard time trying to focus on life and trying to figure out exactly what they need to do, that's where you need to start with your awakening. If you're a person that feel like you're not having an awakening and you just keep going back in these old patterns and stuff, then if you keep going back in these old patterns and you're allowing your mind to be stuck in these patterns, it has to be a point where you're just going to snap, or you just got to find some type of anchor to get yourself out of these different types of habits and behaviors that you got going on. Because a lot of these behaviors have a lot to do with what you're feeding your mind, or what you're seeing in the media, what you're seeing in these movies, and what you're seeing around the people that you hang around on a 24/7 basis. I'm not telling you don't hang around those people. I'm just like, you need to imagine that there's an aura of light around you that cannot be affected by anybody's energy, of anybody's negative energy that's not serving you. But how would you know if something is of a negative energy towards you? Well, for one, you can just sense it. Subconsciously, you know when somebody's not doing okay, or you know when somebody is really not focused on what they need to be doing for their own life. And another way is to keep doing what you're passionate about, whatever that is. Hopefully it's not something that's draining the life out of you, but do something that you're passionate about and do that stuff every single day, regardless if people don't believe in you, in regards to people don't understand you. Because eventually you're going to attract somebody that will. Again, that's law of attraction. You're always going to attract what you desire and what you think of. But again, we're not talking about law of attraction. We're talking about just you being a divine being and understanding that you could probably control the law of attraction if you knew how to. But again, that understanding that you are a divine being help put you in a position to understand the law of attraction, that you're the one that's calling the shots. You're the one that's pulling the strings. You can't let other people or other things get around you to control you. And you can't feel like you're always being controlled either. That's another thing. You can't always feel like you're, and have things that are controlling you all the time either, because again, that's still giving away your personal power from within. And so you need to take a neutral stance on everything and start coming from a place of judgmentalness. There's so many things and aspects of how you need to, control your own vibration in this world. And I just think that if you just focus on that one thing, is just controlling your own energy right there on everything that you do, and understanding that everything you do is based on energy, then that's really going to take you far away. It's going to give you a bigger understanding about what's going on, how to control your thoughts and your emotions, your body, your soul, your frequency, the Godhood, and understanding that and having a more open perspective about that, and constantly feeding yourself with knowledge rather feeding yourself with bullshit every single day. Like, I'm just so sick and tired of looking at the stuff I see on TV and the news, and it's just horrible, man. Like I'm sorry, I don't care who got bombed yesterday. I'm sorry, I don't care who got bombed, or I care about people. I definitely care about people. I definitely care about people in other different countries, but I really don't care what's going on, because half the stuff that's going on in the media is not even true. They're reading the same scripts every day for you to again, they're the ones that run in the biggest program that's going on. That's why it's so hard for you to actually be in a state of your own godhood, your own divine beingness. That's why you can't get to a point where you have a big, vast understanding about who you really are on a multi-dimensional level of consciousness type level. But again, you need to dive into things that you're afraid of, and you need to dive into things that you fear and eliminate the fear, because once you eliminate the fear of all things and most things, disconnect. Okay, guess I'm back. I think it started to disconnect here. But I don't know. I guess that's my sign to quit. I really don't want to quit, but I just had to talk about this, man, because I know people. You'll have your friends looking on Facebook like, "What's this guy into now?" Like, I know some people I'm even friends with on Facebook. They're probably still looking at me like, "What's this guy on nowadays?" Yeah, this is exactly what I'm on nowadays. I'm not comfortable with the things that I used to believe anymore. Like, I don't really believe in those things anymore. So if you talk to me, yeah, we can talk about old things, but that part of Arnound is gone. That guy is gone. Like, I know exactly what I am, what I'm doing. Just like a lot of people out there are conscious, they're still self-open. They understand what's going on. They're not falling for that same state of mind anymore. A lot of people watching this, and a lot of people who don't watch what I do or don't care about what I do, that are just constantly just constantly creeping on my Facebook pages. They're pretty much the same way. Because deep down inside, something's going on. on a spiritual level. And it's not just about love and light. It's about understanding the duality between light and darkness of your own self. And we live in a dualistic type of reality that they want people to destroy each other. And that's really what's going on CNN. Like, I don't really like to talk about politics, but it's all about us destroying each other. You know, really when we need to work together to ascend, to raise our state of consciousness. Just think about if we all just really worked together and we understood exactly what we were and what we are and what we could achieve together. We'd be some very powerful beings on this planet, like we're meant to be. And I don't mean power in the sense of like money and cars and everything like that. I mean in our minds, in our spirit. Because with that, that's where abundance really comes. And I'm not talking about church. I'm talking about ascending to a different state of higher consciousness, was what we was meant to be. And so, I don't know. I just hope you guys think about that. I'm just talking here. I'm gonna start doing more of these live streams because I really don't get into these live streams. I really don't. But if you got any more questions or any concerns about your spirituality, anything about anything from low magic to high magic to occult to ascension to reptilian beings to, all of that, feel free to connect with me. And if you're somebody that's having some awakening experiences, make sure you go to enlightenednetworker.net/60-day disconnect. Or if you need a tarot card reading, go to enlightenednetworker.net/tarot, and I will give you a tarot card reading. It may not be free, but if you put your information in there and I contact you, I might even just say, hey, I'm gonna give you a free tarot card reading because I know people have answers about things. I'm not going to be one of those persons that just wants to do readings for money. I didn't used to do readings for money. I used to always give free readings to everybody. I remember when I first started doing tarot cards, I used to think it was a joke. Like, this is some type of hocus pocus joke. When I came back from basic training, I started doing tarot card readings for everybody, and I started really predicting things. So, again, back then I knew something was wrong, but again, I got stuck into the program. Again, I got stuck into the reality, the rap music and everything else, and then that's what happened. I got stuck back into the reality, that same mode, that same paradigm, the things that I've always been doing. And then you just got to get to a point where you don't want to go back to that anymore. You got to get to the point where it's just, there's so much more to what the life you've been living in, and there's totally a different life on the other side. There's nothing wrong with this life that we live. Just that we have to be the ones to control it. And so, again, I'm done here. I think I'm going to go to Instagram. So, again, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, make sure you follow me on Instagram at instagram.com/enlightenednetworker. And I will see you guys on the internet.